Come, Mariam. Come. This way, this way. Come, listen to me. Come. This way is like mine. That way my way. Yeah, I got it. It's in the closet.
Okay.
It's just right there.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Hey, I don't know if everyone knows this, but the MFA is the highest honor an artist can have yet. We worked really, really hard. It's a mixture of research and making work. It's a terminal degree. It's the highest we can go. It would allow us to work at a university level and to also show the world what we're capable of. And to be able to show your work here tonight, you have to demonstrate the world and your professors that you're worth doing that. And these three amazing artists have worked very, very hard, not only this last week, but for the last 3 years to be here tonight. Not only they have individual, beautiful, cohesive work, but they were able to put together a show, which is not easy because we have drawing and sculpture, we have fabrics, we have metal, and some photography. They're very nervous because showing our work is hard, okay? Making it sometimes is easy, showing it sometimes, and talking about it is even harder. So we're here to listen to them, to celebrate them, and we're gonna start our artist talk. We have 2 questions each, okay, that you can ask after they're done. And we're gonna start over there with Miranda. And let's give them a applause first. So they
First of all, I would just love to start off by thanking the community of people who have helped make this possible, and my homework. I'm just unbelievably grateful for being able to be here today. Okay, so anyway, this is my work, and it highlights the complexities of infertility. For me, this is a subject that is both personal and universally relevant. Typically, becoming a parent is seen as a simple and natural task, but for myself and others like me, fertility was not easily attained. I felt a deep sense of betrayal as my body failed to produce a child. There was a sense of isolation, shame, and fear of being judged due to the cultural stigmas and narratives associated with infertility. In this body of work, I weave together multiple mediums to explore the complexities associated with infertility. The images function as visual metaphors of repetition and the intrusive nature of IVF and IUI. There is a constant monitoring found in these pieces over here on the wall are symbols of that, along with the embryonic development to highlight the moments of longing, loss, and quiet strength required to endure this process. Most of these brooches are reversible to become a space for what we choose to hold private about our experiences versus what we allow others to see. These are also an example of that, and I'm wearing one. Additionally, each piece is meant to be worn as a personal testament to the physical experiences. My goal is to challenge societal norms surrounding infertility and motherhood, and to create a safe space of understanding and empathy for those who have experienced loss. sort of talks about like, even after you go through all of these processes, and you're told like that the pregnancy is viable, everything's gonna be fine, there's still this like underlying fear that like you could still lose something that you hold so precious because we've experienced loss so many times. And so for me, that piece speaks to that.
I have a question. There's a significant amount of vulnerability in your work. Do you think that you will continue to look at that subject to help others understand how common this is and help them through their own journey?
Yeah, I think that that's truly my goal. I would also like to potentially down the road pivot a little bit, just to talk about how, you know, as women, we're put into these societal roles of becoming a mother, and sometimes that's not always as important as people, you know, like, I don't know, like, women just don't always have to fit into this box of what society tells us that we need to be.
Thank you very much.
What if somebody else had a question? What if somebody else had a question? I'm good at this part.
You want to continue?
I'm kidding.
Okay. Alfia. I was going to ask you to talk to us about these pieces. Tell us how you wear.
So in my work, I really use there's like in the Victorian era, they have the language of flowers. And so I really incorporated that thoughtfully through a lot of my works. These pieces in particular are forget-me-nots, and on the back of them is different instances of loss. And so this piece right here with the developing fetus on the back is just talking about loss in the stage after 12 weeks, where this piece here is loss at the beginning of the embryonic stage. And then this third piece over here talks about society, we lose sight of that. And as women, we're not allowed to grieve those miscarriages. And so the forget-me-not for anyone who's unfamiliar with the world of infertility is a symbol for loss and stillbirths. So that's what these pieces are about.
First, I want to start with some thank you to some special people in my life. I want to take a moment to express my deepest gratitude to my family, those without whom this journey would not be possible. My mom, my sisters. I'm really happy that they're tonight. They're actually means a lot for me. I feel incredibly lucky to have their love and support so close. The rest of my family is back at home in Bangladesh, and I carry their encouragement in my heart every single day. Thank you all for always believing in me and pushing me to follow my dreams. I would like to thank my dearest husband, Tarek, who is actually doing some video. You have been the biggest support. Thank you for your constant support, your motivations, your endless patience. And art was not easy for me. But you have walked every step of this path with me. I'm so grateful for you.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank my mother-in-law for the care and help she gave me when I was first moving in USA. Her support made a huge difference in helping me adjust to this new life. I'm deeply, deeply thankful to her. very special thanks to my professor, Laura Strand. Laura, you taught me everything I needed to know that to prepare for this exhibition. Your guidance, your encouragement, your generosity have shaped not only my work, but my confidence as an artist. Thank you. I also want to sincerely thank Professor Catherine Poole-Jones for helping me find my voice in writing my thesis. Professor Ivy Cooper is not here today, but I would like to thank her for her thoughtful advice throughout this process. To Professor Amy Kinder and Mike Summers, thank you for serving me in my committee and supporting my vision. To all my friends, my colleagues at SIUA, you have been my second family here. Your laughter, your kindness and encouragement carried me through the toughest days. And finally, to the little person who gave me my journey a new purpose, my baby boy Isaac, my son, my sweet boy, everything I am here, everything I have created here because of him. I love you more than I could have ever expressed. Thank you all again for being here to share this special moment with me. Let's talk about my work now. This body of work comes from a very deeply personal place. It reflects the complexity of motherhood, not just as a role, but as a complete transformation. Every thread, every dried fabric, every stitch in this work carries a moment from my own journey. Becoming a mother, while I also being an artist, a woman, and an immigrant. I created these pieces during some of the hardest moments, from pumping milk before rushing to work, trying to soothe my baby while running on no sleep, holding my sick child and feeling completely helpless. Yet needing to stay strong, there were also moments of beauty, his smile, our quiet mornings, the growth we shared together. Through this art, I wanted to show the duality of motherhood, the chaos, the calmness, the pain, the power. So as you walk through this piece, I hope you don't just see the fabric or thread. I hope you feel the emotions went into them. I hope you pause to think about the stories we often don't tell out loud, especially when it comes to motherhood and the sacrifices behind it. This work is not just about me. It's a tribute to every mother who's ever had to hold everything together while putting herself last. It's for those whose strength is not always visible, but whose love is stitched into everything they do. Thank you so much for sharing me with this moment. Thank you.
Can you talk a little bit about like your thought process when you choose, like I feel like there's so many different materials going on here, and like how do you choose what material you're gonna use next and what it means to your like concept? That makes sense?
Yes, of course. I think every material has an importance in every art pieces of mine, and they are very close to me. I think first, if I talk about this one, my first piece that I have made when I was thinking about to do this concept, complexity of motherhood. So I think the thread has the most beautiful to imply the connection, the connectiveness. Thread plays a very beautiful role in it. And second piece, my foil piece. I have two foil pieces. I think they have the very beautiful, shiny colors that impact in my work that makes the motherhood very beautiful. I think that often like was going with my concept. And fabric is, I think, I have very much attachment with it because I grew up seeing my mom, my aunts doing quilts with fabric, stitching them. So there is an attachment. So I just wanted to do some beautiful pieces with fabric, and textile is my very close thing to have. So yeah, the materials are very much have the attachment with me. Thank you.
How much do your colors impact your work, especially when it comes to the messaging behind what you're trying to do?
Because it is about the complexity of motherhood, I have incorporated with very much red color, the warm color that I had, with the blue color which has the peacefulness. So my work has the duality thing, which is a good portion, also the hard portion of motherhood. So I think blue incorporate with the peacefulness that I had with my baby, and the red one worked behind it, like the hardness that I have felt. We all know that red had the impact, like the aggressionness. So I use red mostly in all my work to portray that how complex situation I had in my work process and the situation I had in my life. So, yeah. Thank you for that question. Thank you so much. Yeah.
I'm wondering what it's like to kind of be an artist who moves halfway around the world, and maybe there's a different kind of appetite for visual art in Bangladesh than there is in the United States. Could you talk a little bit about that, how that evolved for you, like how you think about your audience in terms of like homeland in the U.S.?
Yes, that's a beautiful question. Thank you. In Bangladesh, we have a very graceful culture. We have a heritage of quilt making, which we call Nakshi Katha. So I have got so many inspiration from that, because the women around those village areas used to draw whatever they have in their mind, because they're supposed to do household works, and after some time they got little bit free time in the evening time, so they used to do some embroidery with the old clothes. So I got inspired from that I can do this thing. I was going in my mind. I had my baby. I have a story to tell. So the inspiration of Nakshi Katha, the quilt making in Bangladesh, gave me that motivation to do some quilt making here, using the fabrics incorporate with my concept, the conceptual, like the complexity. And I have made this quilt, 2 quilt pieces. This is what I have sleeping in split when he was sick, vomiting that time, and I was like sleeping into his sickness that time. So that was the imagination in my mind, and then I put it into my work. So I think the fabric had made me, gave me that vulnerability to like stitch through it and think about that process, think about my child, like how I'm going to take care of it. So yeah, I think these are the most emotional connectiveness that happened. Choosing fabric, colors, threads, this kind of a meditations happen with me. So, yeah. Thank you.
been really instrumental to this. First of all, just my cohorts, Miranda and Alfia. It's been really awesome showing with you guys. A lot of respect for your work. That's right. All the installers too, like sculpture is always a team effort, and so this week I had Thad, Amir, Noah, Ade, Dallas, Lori, Claudia, and also my mom and my wife Stacy helped me out. Leah, Stacy, and Larry are the back office stuff, but they do a ton of work behind the scenes. Also the little zines I designed over there. Shout out to Ella who coordinated it and helped me get that done. Joy just did an amazing job. She helped me build this frame that was like an engineering, it's a little work of art itself. So I give her props for that. And also Joy's helped with a ton of other aspects of my work. Also just everyone here, like I know a lot of my students made an effort to come out. So I see y'all, I appreciate you guys. And I got a little bit of help from all the professors, but Brian, I really liked working with you, and Laura too, the study that we had together was really helpful in the book arts class. And lastly, my thesis committee, so KPJ and Abby Hefner, I have a ton of respect for you guys. It was really awesome just getting the studio visits and learning from you. And also I had this kind of weird route here where I started out as like a painting drawing discipline, and then my work kind of evolved to be more sculpture focused. So I worked a lot with Thad in the second half of my time here at Thad. I really appreciate your professionalism and just all the mentorship. And Brigham also mean the world to me. It's been great working with you. And my mom came out from California, so thanks, Mom. And my in-laws, too, B&K, too many to mention. Also, I'm not going to do justice to my wife, Stacy. Are you? She's really like behind most of what I do. Like I couldn't have done this without her like emotional and financial and support, creative support. Like I bounced a lot of ideas off of her. Like we collaborated. So she was just like a big part of everything. Thank you. All right. So talking about the word, also basically my brother Dave. My best friend. Thanks, man. So why the title True Crime when my work seems to be a lot about games and Christianity? So first I'll talk about the games aspect. I like games. Games are fun. Also I like how social they are. They bring people together. They kind of draw out the best and worst in people. They just seem like really right sort of metaphor for talking about other things. And I also just like, this is more kind of conceptual, but the way that they shape your behavior and your agency. And they do that primarily through like the goals of the games, the rules, and the environments. And so that just felt like a real apt metaphor for some of the social issues I'm talking about. So although like Boggle and Tetris and Mario, those are games, but I read this book that kind of got me thinking about like how everything is in a way can be a game. So political races are a game, and that's a little bit what this tall piece under the table is about. Gerrymandering and like drawing out districts can be a kind of game, and that's a little bit what I think this piece Red Line is about. Like an MFA program in a way is a game. Like there's goals and rules and environment it happens in. But a game doesn't mean like it's frivolous and like not important, but like dating can be a game, and like my favorite game is Monday morning, like who had the worst weekend story. Trying to one-up each other, right? So back to like the true crime theme. So I'm talking about the real true crime is like what happens on a systemic level. Like a lot of people like get like angry what happens politically, and so like I see like the true crime as being the way that the ultra wealthy steal wage surplus from workers, like the inaction on gun laws, and like more recently the executive order imposing that there's two genders. That's a call kind of like a systemic violence on people. That's like the true crime. And I didn't plan to say this, but I work with a lot of trans people here, and you guys are awesome, and I appreciate you. The second meaning has to do with podcasts and like the true crime genre. So I listen to a lot of that stuff, and sometimes I feel uneasy about like being entertained by other people's tragedy, right? It's there's different ways to approach it. Like you can engage it as kind of in a thoughtful way to learn more about humans, to have compassion. You can also just kind of be entertained and treat it as kind of escapist activity. And so to me, that's kind of that's the parallel I have with my work here. Is with the game, you kind of have this choice to like engage and just be entertained by the spectacle, or engage with the issues to kind of get upset by the same things I'm upset about. So that's a kind of parallel with the theme there. And this piece kind of stands out a little bit. So it's called Battle Cries, and the title comes from the fact that it's mostly about like the culture wars of Christianity that happened in America, and also, sorry, this keeps going in now, so I'm just gonna talk about it. The culture wars of Christianity, and then also it's just kind of like a lament of me being really like sad about what happens in the name of Christianity. That's where the title comes from. It's probably the more like personal and vulnerable work I made, and there's like a zine over there that is free that you guys can take that goes in a little bit more detail about it. But the only other thing I'll say about it is it's in the Bible there's this tradition of like one person has a dream and another person interprets it. And so in the same way I want it to be really open-ended, like I made this slowly over the course of years. I don't have a lot of rationale for like some of the things on there. And so it's really about what you guys kind of take away from it, the meanings. And so I think the main takeaway too is as you walk around, I would be really excited if you like had questions about the games where you're like, which player am I? Is this game design fair? Is it is it fun? Who benefits from these games? Those are the kind of questions I want to raise. Like this one over here, the 9 inches one is like, if you were a pawn, which pawn are you, and what actions are you taking? And the Boggle one over there is like, which voice are you listening to that you want to amplify? So those are the kind of questions I'm raising. And like, you guys could be anywhere, and I appreciate that you're here. So I'll end there. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's a good question. Well, I just have a lot of different interests. Well, I'll back up. It started with a piece I made in Brigham's class, and I have a graphic design background, and I did collage before I came here, so it was just kind of a medium that came natural. But as I went on, it started to feel like if I could try to make all these things that normally don't belong together, like and like reconcile my experience in the same way. But if I could reconcile like watercolor and collage and acrylic and pen and ink and all this stuff, then maybe I can make what I'm talking about kind of come together too. And a lot of times there's just kind of intuitive, like sometimes when I want something to be more serious or personal, I might choose like pen and ink, which has a different connotation than like cartooning. So maybe I want to make something look more like a little bit silly. So sometimes there's like connotations that come with the medium, sort of why I'm choosing it.
I got to see the leftmost panel at Art St. Louis before that got abruptly shut down, which I guess we could probably talk about the gaming system and that. Mm-hmm. There's probably some systemic problems going on there, but it's really fascinating to see like all of it just completely together, and to know that there is so much more to the picture and so much more to the game.
Your work, the battle cries, and reading your thesis, it's very clear that you're very devoting your faith. And I'm wondering about how much of a risk it is to kind of interrogate the, I guess, the abuses of trust within the church as you navigate what you love about it?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I think it's pretty different for everyone, but I just had to kind of steal what I think is the core of what is good about it, or why I feel, compelled by the person of Jesus. But it's had less and less to do with like the institution and the communities I was in. So you kind of start to leave that, and I think once you leave, and you kind of see it from the outside looking in, I never really saw it the same way again. And so I don't know, I feel kind of on the outside of it now. I think a lot of people who consider themselves like evangelical proper, probably the things I believe now aren't orthodox or not. I would be considered a heretical based on the things I believe. So it's like I kind of have to. I feel like I just answer to God and the people I live with, and I can't really like work for the approval of people in the institution. If that makes sense. Can't let the chips fall where they may. Thank you guys.
Congratulations, Annie, Alfia, and Miranda. I encourage you to approach the artist. If you're curious about a piece or you want them to explain further their work, I think they're excited about it, as you can see. Thank you, congratulations, and thank you for being here.
That's insane.
Yes, yes. No ham, one ham.
Oh, yeah, she was home. Oh, Ella! Ella!
Ella.
I don't know which camera. Thank you so much.
Hi.
Honestly, like, yeah. If I could make art like this, the stuff that I would do.
তুমি হাঁটো আলফিয়া ওখানে হাঁটো ওদিকে ঘুরো ওকে দেখাও এটা
No.